Well, Sophia, welcome to the City of Solitude. It's really not a city, it's really more of a castle kind of thing, but, it'll do. It's the capital of Skyrim. I like it. It's very, it has a very secure kind of feeling to it. You know, these really big imperial walls surrounding us and whatnot. The only issue I have with it is, a lot of the city
The
is...
Fletcher in Solitude is a bit wary of me, after what happened when I asked to try out some of his arrows. I'm usually okay with a bow, but accidents happen.
I was talking to
got
you.
over it.
I was talking to you, then you interrupted me, but whatever. Anyway, we are here to deliver some stuff to the Bard's College. I almost said the College of Winterhold. I wish we were going there, but yeah, we need to find Inga at the Bard's College. And once we're done with that, Alright, fine. Fine, you do you, I guess. But once I'm done with that, I'm going to run some errands and maybe buy a few new spells. Sell some of the stuff that I've got on my person and my backpack at the moment. It's starting to weigh me down a little bit. And oh, you finally caught up, did you? Right, you know, I don't know if they're gonna take too kindly to you coming in. So why don't you just?
What's on your mind?
Why don't you just like wait out here?
Don't be too long. I hate having to entertain myself.
There's a bard right there. Alright, so Inga. Who the heck are you again? I've kind of forgotten. It's been a while. Inga. I think it was an old lady, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm guessing upstairs then. Unless she's out and about, in which case that's not good for me. Means I have to go find and track her down. Oh, okay. Gjord? You don't have anything else for me to do you?
Hello again, friend.
No.
Always good to see a fellow bard.
Right. Out of curiosity, no, I can't take these books with me. That's a shame. Right, so where the heck is Inga? I'd like to speak with this woman that sent me on this quest so I can finally get my reward for it.
Meals are served to bards at designated times. Find an inn if you want to make requests.
Grumpy old fart. Okay, Inga, are you down here by any chance? No. This is, problematic. Where the heck is this woman? There you are.
It takes two things to be a good teacher. The first is patience. The second is a firm wooden stick for rapping knuckles.
Right. I found Finn's loot, by the way.
What? You did? Oh, sweet divines, you did. There is no way I can pay you what this loot is worth. But I can teach you a few tricks I've learned over the years. Always good to see a fellow bard.
Alright, well, she taught me a few things, which I suppose is in some ways better than coin, but coin doesn't... Skills that I'm never going to use don't really buy me any new spells. I need coin to buy new spells. I almost said that backwards. Blue mountain flower, don't mind if I do. Right, Sophia, there you are.
Was there something you wanted?
Yeah, follow me.
You can take me anytime. I mean, you can take me with you. Yeah.
Fine, fine, just whatever. Yeah.
Oh, is there something hard in your pocket? I felt it when you brushed against me.
I am carrying like all kinds of like gems and stuff, if that's what you're... Gods give me the strength. Okay. I am going to buy some spells now. We are going inside a palace. If you could be on your best behavior, that would be nice. No more of your perverted shenanigans. Alright, you know what?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, wait here.
Okay, I'll be here. Maybe.
Steward, I will need the following reagents for my studies. Please see to them.
Miss Stentor, these are quite expensive. I trust you know how limited the Hold's funds are at this time.
I swear to you, unnatural magics are coming from that cave. There are strange noises and lights. We need someone to investigate.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and secure the town. Hafengar's people will always be safe under my rule.
Your Eminence, my scrying has suggested nothing in the area. Dragonbridge is under Imperial control. This is likely superstitious nonsense.
Perhaps a more tempered reaction might be called for?
Oh, yes, of course, you were right. Falk, tell Captain Aldous I said to assign a few extra soldiers to Dragonbridge.
Thank you, Jarl Elisif. What about the cave?
I will have someone take care of the cave as well, Marcus. Rest easy. You're dismissed.
Excuse me.
I've got what I came for. I better get back to Dragonbridge.
Okay. So... I came here to buy spells. Do I need to speak to what's-her-face?
Be quick. I have little patience for mundane concerns.
What have you got for sale?
Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Right. Alright, well, I think I pretty much got everything that I need.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, follow me.
Anything to please you? Well, maybe not anything.
Okay. Before we go, there is one thing I wanted to check, though. They mentioned something about a cave whenever we walked in, and I kind of want to make sure.
Do you have business with the court?
Yeah, I heard something about Wolf Skull Cave.
You mean the Dragonbridge issue? I'll be honest with you. I was planning to let that go. Varnius is a bit jumpy at the best of times. There have been reports of weird happenings near Wolf Skull Cave. Travelers disappearing, odd lights. I suspect wild animals, or perhaps bandits. I don't think it's worth our time with the war going on. But if you want to clear out the cave, I'll make sure you're repaid for your work.
Alright, so why is it called Wolf Skull Cave?
The cave has a bad history. Long ago, Potema the Wolf Queen used it for necromantic rituals. That's where it got the name. That was over 500 years ago. Nothing much down there now, but everyone's always convinced the cave is haunted.
Nah, well, I tend to have...
Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
Right, well, I tend to be, like... I'm not attracted to haunted places myself. They have a habit of finding me, it seems. So, yeah, let's go have a little look-see at this place, wherever the heck it is. And, once we get done with... Okay, it's up there. And once we get done with the Wolf Skull Cave issue, we're going to start looking into going to Iverstead. and piecing together the final remnants of this trinket that we found in that ruin by Morthal. All right, Sophia, gear up. We've got a not really a mission, but rather a task to do, and I forgot to sell this shield. Oh well, whatever. And do I even need this anymore? Probably not. Right, Wolf Skull Cave it is. Right.
Imagine if I was Dragonborn. The term shouting would take on an entirely new meaning.
Yeah, that's not something I want to even think about. That would be a nightmare in and of itself. Just, you have no idea the kind of power I have, do you? Right, so this is that road that... Where does this even go? It goes basically nowhere, apparently. Okay. Oh, hello.
Yes?
I was hoping I could sell some stuff to you, but oh well. Uh-oh. Sophia? Brace yourself. Oh, God. That is a very nasty-looking dragon. He doesn't seem too interested in fighting, though, which I suppose works for me. Man, it looks like he's flying off in that direction, which that direction goes towards... It really doesn't go towards anywhere. Interesting. What the devil? Excuse me?
Need something?
Right. So yeah, head up here, and it's at the next crossroads. Gotcha. I am actually going to equip those for the moment. I really wish you would keep up better. At least she's not going on about how perverted she is or something. Oh. There she is. Okay. Thalmor. How about we don't mess with them?
Just look at that stunning view. What? I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at... Okay, I was looking at you.
Oh, good grief. Right, this looks like the place. I hear skeletons. This doesn't bode well. Skeletons outside a cave that has a history of necromancy. Oh boy. Alright. Well, let's see what we've got ourselves into. Or ourselves into, I should say. Did the Drugger always sound like this? Or am I just going crazy? Because I don't remember them sounding like this whenever I went into Bleak Falls Barrow. Oops. Oh, sorry, Sophia. Uh-oh. Right, this is why I enchanted this sword. Whoa, okay. Whoa! Alright, let's try to be careful in here because we have no idea what we're actually going to find. There could be creatures in here that are far stronger than anything we've ever faced before. They have a very bad... Yeah, I had a feeling there's going to be Draugr. As soon as he said haunted, I knew Draugr were going to be involved.
Is someone over here?
Alright, first battle went by pretty easily, I think. But it doesn't sound like we're anywhere close to being done. Uh-oh. Right. And, what else am I looking for? Water ruin, yeah. Jeez.
I don't like to boast, but I'm superior to you in every possible way. Who am I kidding? I love to boast.
God. Okay. Right. I guess the only way to go is down, by the looks of it, which I don't really like, to be honest. Hop down here, come down here. What on earth? Or Nern, I should say.
Wolf Queen, hear our call and awaken. We summon Potema.
We
Summon Potema. Long have you slept the dreamless sleep of death, Potema. No longer. Hear us, Wolf Queen. We summon you. We summon Potema.
Right, we should probably get a move on and stop this. Yeah, how about you don't stand in the fire? Right. Draugr White, you say? What the? Okay, that was weird. I just got teleported. We are fighting against mages after all, so I suppose that stands to reason there's going to be some weird stuff that happens. Whoa. How do I like my new sword, by the way? It does water damage. How that makes any sense, I have no idea, but it's cool nonetheless.
Yes! Yes! Return me to this realm!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Summon you. Blood of the innocent binds you, Wolf Queen.
I think it's just broken in.
Summon with words. By blood. What? What are you doing? You fools! You cannot bind me to your wills. Summon with words, bound by blood. You ants don't have the power to bind me.
This does not sound good. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think it's broken in.
Sophia, get out of my way.
Something is wrong. There is an intruder.
I'm gonna take a moment to heal up, because this has actually been, it hasn't been as tough as I thought it would be. But I have still taken a little bit of damage.
Stop the intruder. Like the bite of a flea.
Okay, that was interesting. I think we just stopped a really bad thing from happening. Alright, search these guys. Found battle axe. Make sure we're not, like, leaving any clues behind. Could have swore there was one standing right here, but... Ah. The refugees.
The Refugees, by Gareth Albrecht. History of refugees fleeing the Cameron usurper. The smell of the bay oozed through the stones of the cellar. Salt, brine, decay. The cellar itself had its own sense of old wine turned to vinegar, mildew, and the more exotic spices of herbs the healers had brought with them to tend to the wounded. There were more than 50 people squeezed into the big earthen room, which had once been forgotten storage for the brothel above. The groaning and whimpering had ceased for now, and all was still, as if the hospital had turned into a mass grave. Mother? A Redguard boy whispered. What was that? The boy's mother was about to answer him, when there was another rolling roar from outside. It grew louder and louder, as if some great but incorporeal beast had come into the cellar. The walls trembled, and dust burst from the ceiling in a rain of powder. Unlike the last time, no one screamed. They waited until the weird, haunting sound had passed, and then was replaced by the soft rumble of distant battle. A wounded soldier began whispering Mara's prayer from the dune. Mankar, a Bosmer woman curled up in a cot, hissed, her eyes feverish, flesh white and wet with sweat. He is coming. Who is coming? Asked the boy, grasping his mother's skirt tight. Who do you think, lad? A sweetsmonger? The grizzled, one-armed Redguard growled. The Cameron usurper. The boy's mother shot an angry look at the old warrior. She doesn't know what she's saying. She's sick. The boy nodded. His mother was usually right. He had not yet even been born when people began whispering that the Cameron usurper was coming towards her little village, and she had packed up their belongings to flee. Their neighbors had laughed at her, she said, saying that Rihad and Tanith would handily defeat him. Her husband, Lukar's father, who he was never to meet, had also laughed at her. It was the harvest time, and she would miss out on the celebrations. But his mother, Miakai, was right. 2 weeks after she fled the village, she heard the tale that it had been obliterated during the night with no survivors. Rihad and Tanith had both fallen. The usurper was unstoppable. Lukar had been born and grown up in refugee camps throughout Hammerfell. He had never known a friend for more than a few days. He knew that when the sky burned red to the west, they would pack up and move east. When it burned to the south, they moved north. At last, after 12 years of moving from camp to camp, they had taken passage across the Iliac Bay to the province of High Rock, in the barony of Dwynen. There Miakai had promised and hoped that they would have a peaceful, permanent home. It was so green there, blinded, unlike Hammerfell, which was only green in certain seasons and in certain places. Dwynen was verdant year-round, until wintertide, when it began to snow, and Lukar had been frightened of it at first. He was ashamed to think of it now, when there was real danger, but the red clouds of war, the stink and pain of the refugee camp, that was familiar. Now, the red sky was on the horizon of the bay and coming closer, and he longed for the days when a scattering of white made him cry. Mankar! The Bosmer woman cried out again. He is coming, and he will bring death. No one is coming, said a pretty young Breton healer, coming to the woman's side. Hush now. Hello? Came a voice from above. The whole room, almost together as one, gasped. A Bosmer limped down the shoddy wooden stairs, his friendly face very obviously not that of the Cameron usurper. Sorry if I frightened you, he said. I was told there were healers here, and I could use a little help. Rosena hurried over to take a look at the Bosmer's wounds on his leg and chest. Disheveled but still beautiful, she was one of the favorites at the brothel, who had learned her healing skill, along with her more vocational skills, at the House of Debella. She carefully but quickly pulled the rent leather cuirass, chousses, tassets, greaves, and boots off, and placed them to the side while she examined the injuries. The old Redguard warrior picked them up and studied them. You were in the war? Next to it is probably a better way to put it. The Bosmer smiled, wincing slightly at Rosena's touch. Behind it, beside it, in front of it. My name's Orban Elmlock. I'm a scout. I try to avoid the real battle, so I can get back and report what I see. A good job for people who don't like the color of their own blood very much. Hizim, said the warrior, shaking Orban's hand. I can't fight anymore, but I can fix up this armor if you're going to return. You're a leathersmith? Nah, just a jack of all trades, replied Hizim, opening up a small canister of wax to prep the hard but flexible leather. I can tell you were a scout from the armor, though. Can you tell us what you've been spying on? We've been down in here for half a day now, with no word from the outside. The entire Liak Bay is one great battlefield on the waves, said Orban, and sighed as Rosena's spell began to close his jagged but shallow wounds. We've shut off the invasion from the mouth of the bay, but I was coming from the coast, and the enemy's army is marching over the Rothgarian mountains. That's where I had my little scuffle. It's not too surprising, moving the flank in from the side while the front battle is occupied. It's a play right out of Cameron Kalto's book of tricks the Heart King borrowed. The Heart King? Lucar asked. He had been listening quietly, understanding everything except that. Haman Cameron, the Cameron usurper, Haman Heart King. They're all the same, lad. He's a complicated fellow and needs more than one name. You know him? Miakai asked, stepping forward. Near on 20 years, before this whole black, bloody business. I was Cameron Kalto's chief scout, and Haman was his sorcerer and advisor. I helped them both when they were vying for the Cameron throne, and began the quest of— Ouch! Rosena had ceased her healing. With eyes of fury, she had reversed her spell, and the closed, mended wounds were opening again, dark infections returning. She held him with surprising strength when Orban tried to pull back. You bastard, the healer Cortesian hissed. I have a cousin in Falinesti, a priestess. She's fine, Orban yelled. Lord Kaltos was very adamant about not harming anyone who did not pose a threat. I think the people of Kavach would disagree with that assessment, said Hizim coldly. That was horrible. The worst thing I have ever seen, Orban nodded. Kaltos wept when he saw what Haman had done. My master did everything he could to stop it, begging the Heart King to return to Valenwood. But he turned on Kaltos, and we fled. We are not your enemy, and we have never been. Kaltos could do nothing to prevent the horde that the usurper had brought to the Colovian West and Hammerfell, and he has fought for 15 years to prevent more. The frightening, bestial roar passed through the cellar again, even louder than before. The wounded could not help groaning in helpless terror. And what is that? Miakai sneered. Another of Cameron Kaltos' tricks that the usurper picked up? It is indeed a trick, as a matter of fact, Orban yelled above the screech. It is a phantasm he employs to scare people. He had to use fear tactics in the beginning when his power was ascending, and he has to fall back on them now for his power is waning. That is why it took him 2 years to conquer Valenwood, and another 13 to half-conquer Hammerfell. No offense to you Red Guards, but it isn't only your battle prowess that has been holding him back. He does not have the support he used to have from his master. The echoing roar increased in intensity before once again falling silent. Mankar, the Bosmer woman groaned. He comes, and he will destroy all. His master? Asked Lucar. But Orban's eyes had gone to the Bosmer woman, curled up in her blood-soaked cot. Who is she? Orban asked Rosena. One of the refugees, of course, from your friendly little war in Valenwood, before you and your Kaltos changed sides, the healer replied. I think her name is Kalis. By Jeffrey, Orban whispered under his breath, limping over to the woman's cot and wiping the sweat and blood-streaked hair from her pallid face. Kalis, it's Orban. Do you remember me? How did you get here? Did he hurt you? Mankar, Kalis moaned. That's all she says, said Rosena. I don't know what that is, Orban frowned. Not the usurper, though she knew him too. Very well. She was a favorite of his. His favorites, you, Kaltos, her, all seemed to turn against him, said Miakai. That is why he would fall, replied Hizim. Armored footfall rang along the ceiling, and the cellar door burst open. It was the captain of the Baron Othrock's castle guards. The docks are on fire. If you want to live, you'll need to take refuge at Castle Whitemore. We need help, Rosena called back, but she knew that the guards were needed for defense, not to help carry the sick to safety. With 10 guards who could be spared, and the most able-bodied of the wounded assisting, the cellar was emptied as the streets of Dwynen filled with smoke, and fire began to spread through the chaos. It had been a single fireball miscast out at sea, striking the docks, but the damage would be tremendous. Some hours later, in the courtyard of the mighty castle, the healers were able to set up the cots and begin to tend once again to the suffering of the innocent. The first person Rosena found was Orban Elmlock. Even with his wounds reopened, he had helped carry 2 of the patients into the castle. I'm sorry, she said as she pressed her healing hands onto his wounds. I lost my temper. I forgot that I'm a healer. Where is Kalis? Orban asked. She's not here, Rosanna said, looking around. She must have run away. Run away? But wasn't she injured? It was not a healthy situation, but new mothers can surprise you with what they can do when it's all over. She was pregnant? Orban gasped. Yes. It wasn't such a difficult birth in the end. She was holding the boy in her arms when I saw her last. She said she had done it herself. She was pregnant, Orban murmured again. The mistress, the Cameron usurper, was pregnant. Word quickly spread throughout the castle that the battle was over, and more than that, the war was over. Haemon Cameron's forces had been defeated at sea and in the mountains. The Hard King was dead. Lucar watched down from the battlements into the dark woods that surrounded Dwarnan. He had heard about Kalis, and he imagined a desperate woman fleeing with her newborn baby in her arms into the wilderness. Kalis would have nowhere to go, no one to protect her. She and her baby would be a refugee, like Miakai and him. And reflecting back, he remembered her words. He is coming. He is coming, and he will bring death. He will destroy all. Lucar remembered her eyes. She was sick, but not afraid. Who was this he who was coming? The Cameron usurper was dead. Did she say anything else? Asked Orban. She told me the baby's name, Rosanna replied. Mankar.
Uh-huh. That was a very long book. Ugh, my mind. It hurts. Too much reading. Right, so is there anything else? Apparently not. And apparently... You know, I know 500 years is a pretty long time, but...
Children creep me out. Is it just me, or do they all look the same? If we had kids, what do you suppose they would look like? Oh no, I meant hypothetically. Not that I would want to. Although you are. I'm just going to shut up now before I really embarrass myself.
No! Crying out loud. Just... You know, now you've gotten me completely off track. I completely lost my train of thought and whatnot, and now I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. Aside from looting this chest. Scaled armor of illusion. Would you like some scaled armor by any chance?
Let me guess. You want to talk?
Yeah, I want to trade some things.
Okay, but next time you can carry my stuff.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, very funny. Okay, Scaled armor. There we go.
I rather enjoyed a little chat.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It might grow on me as time goes on. Right now, we don't know if there's still anybody here, so be prepared. Oh. Isn't this the entrance? Well, if I'd known that was there, we could have just, well, maybe. I don't think we could have jumped up here anyway. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna head back to Solitude now. Though we might stop in Dragon Bridge for the night. Hello, Corpulus.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend.
Can I rent a room, please?
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Oh, thank God.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
That's very kind of you. He doesn't remember who I am. He doesn't remember. There's a long story. I accidentally trashed his room one time when I got really, really drunk. So, yeah, in any case...
Yes, I'm listening.
You're gonna have to fend for yourself.
I hope I don't get plundered by bandits. Unless they happen to be good looking, of course.
You're in Solitude. I don't think bandits are gonna be a problem.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Will do. Again, why can I not take the bread and the food and stuff that's in here? he doesn't seem to have picked that up after what happened. Right. So the plan is tomorrow morning, go in, tell Folk Firebeard what happened at the cave, potentially get some kind of reward from it, though I'm not really expecting one. And once we get done with that, my quest for power will continue. Because I need to get to Iverstead and then head up to Winterhold and find my way down to Sarthal. Right. So, my quest for power continues. And there's absolutely, positively no possible way that this could ever go wrong. At least I hope not.